All right, so what is our problem? Should we do a reading on it?
Yeah, we should talk about how we really use our whisper by doing a reading. Let's do a little bit of backstory though. So, uh, when we record, a lot of times we'll get more content than we want to put out in one podcast. And so we'll save it and we just sort of splice it up and we get multiple podcasts out of one conversation. So that happened when we did the October energies. I saved it like I always do, was going to come back, edit it to post this coming week, and it's completely gone. Can't find it anywhere. It's not in any of the trash. It's not in any of the apps where I usually use it. It's not even in its original form located in the Zoom library. I've checked the trash everywhere. It's just completely gone. So I was like, what the fuck? I know I didn't delete it, but even if I did delete it, it would be in trash somewhere. I can't find it. So I tuned into my higher self to ask what. But before I told Laura what I got, I told her the whole story and then asked her to tune into her higher self to see what information she got. And we both basically got that, like, the energy's different. Like, the frequency's changed. We've changed. Since we did that recording, we have launched the whisper training. Oh, that's right. You can go check it out. It's live. We've launched the whisper training. We went to Florida. There's been, I think, an eclipse of some sort. There's been a giant full moon where basically it says that everything about who you were that didn't resonate is like going to get burned down. You're just burning everything down that doesn't resonate. Hello, America. I feel like there was one other big thing. Oh, the government is shut down. There's like people protesting all over the world, all sorts of things. So literally, they were just like, you're just different people.
Which is so weird because it wasn't that long ago.
No, it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that Laura had suggested that we talk about today was like, what was it? Oh my God, I just forgot.
How we actually work with our whisper.
Yes, how we actually work with our whisper. And this is a prime example. Like, sometimes I get caught up in the fact that the whisper is just what you hear inside or what you feel. And like, our higher selves are moving things around and connecting dots and working with other higher selves all over the place. So the fact that I lost a podcast recording, like, that's not necessarily my whisper, but clearly something else bigger was at play for me to lose it. I've never lost one. Never. I don't lose things. Laura knows this. I don't lose things.
No, right. Well, the whisper is connecting with that wisdom. Mm-hmm. It's like the system that you use to connect with either your intuition or your higher selves. But you're right. Like, the higher selves are, that's so interesting, actually. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Well, remember that time? So we went to a conference in California one time with a bunch of conspiracy people.
Oh,
It was like a spiritual slash conspiracy. Oh my God. Thank God. I feel like I never got totally into it. I'd be like, what's Sammy? I always feel like I was listening to Days of Our Lives. I'd be like, what's Sammy up to today? Huh?
I'd be like, don't worry. I read all of the threads last night. I went to all the messages boards last night. Let me give you the lowdown.
Oh my
But
God.
I didn't buy all of it. I was just so amazed at the level. You know what it is? It's the exact same amazement I have over the people who are in the weeds with Taylor Swift. Like, they are looking for the Easter eggs. They're just breaking down every single thing she does and says and posts, and they're like drawing all these correlations that may or may not be real. That's exactly what the conspiracy world is like. If you are into the Taylor Swift stuff, or you ever get into like any show that feels like half the planet is watching with you and everybody's posting stuff and talking about stuff, that is what the conspiracy world feels like. And who knows if any of it's real.
Yeah. So we went, I think this is one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me.
Tell it.
So we had booked a hotel across the street from the conference on Expedia. And we got in late, like 11 p.m.
Yeah, it was late.
And we get to the hotel and they're like, your reservation's been canceled. And we're like, what do you mean? And they're like, someone called and canceled the reservation. And we're like, what are you talking about? We booked it through Expedia. Who called you? I don't remember if they were able to tell us or if they said Expedia called.
They
or
said
something.
Expedia called.
They
and
did
we're
say
like,
Expedia
yeah,
called and canceled the reservation, which, what?
right. What? Yep.
So we ended up over at the conference early, or like at the hotel where everybody was staying, all the people that were presenting and everything. And we ended up meeting all these people, crazy people. But anyway,
But also that hotel was sold out. That's why we were at the one
That-
across the street.
right, correct. But
So-
somehow we ended up back in there anyway.
Yes.
So what we're trying to say is, as Candy is pointing out, there's like shuffling going on the other side. I'm sorry, I have a cold, y'all. My throat's like. But I do have a
real
question.
life, people. Real life.
I do have a question about this actually, and not just about that night, but just like it kind of makes you feel like you don't have any control over your life. Like if your higher selves are like, well, we're just gonna remove this. Oh my God, wait, we forgot to tell them the other part of this, which is I was at Apple because my fucking phone is so stupid. It's actually, we're gonna blame it on Verizon. Apple's trying to blame it on Verizon, but whatever. It cuts in and out when I'm driving around and listening to music, talking on the phone, the Bluetooth, or the 5G signal. I don't know. The guy at Apple, so my second visit on this problem, he kept going, it's a frequency problem. I'm like, isn't it always a frequency problem? Like, isn't that just the problem all the time? It's
All
like
the
the
time.
problem when you get into a fight with a friend or when you like, he
Break
said
up.
it over and over and over again. I was like, yeah, it's a frequency problem. Totally. I totally agree. Anyway, but then Candy and I were talking on the phone and she's telling me about how she lost that episode vanished. And they were like, they told her it's basically a frequency problem.
Yeah,
And
they're
I was
like,
like, the guy at Apple was also telling me it's a frequency problem, but I didn't know it was about the podcast. The fudge.
Check and check. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but my point is kind of like, if some random person is going to call from Expedia and cancel your reservation, like, who is dictating this life?
Okay. Well, so all right. So bubble, bubble, bubble. Like what they're showing me is they're reminding us that your higher self is still you. It is just an elevated version of you. Think about like higher perspective, more consciousness, less meaty suit, like stuck in the world shit. So the part of you, the higher self that's pulling some of these strings and making some of these things happen is still you. It just has more fluidity in how it moves and connects to other things around it. Ooh, that's an interesting way to say it. Right? Because now I'm thinking back to that trip that we took to LA, to California, and we wanted to be in the main hotel. Like we wanted to be where all the action was. But by the time that my human self got around to booking it, the quote unquote rooms were full. And so we booked across the street and I never checked back. I let it go, like, whatever. We're going to be in the hotel, in the conference center when the things are happening. So it doesn't really matter where we sleep. But apparently, on some level, it did matter because our higher selves pulled the strings necessary to get us across the street. Now, you might be thinking, why does it matter where you sleep? Just like Laura and I were thinking, why does it matter where we sleep? But it mattered so much where we were because we ended up getting access to like quote unquote behind the scenes stuff and like got pulled into conversations and sidebars that we wouldn't have been in had we been in the other hotel.
You know, it's what we saw was we got more behind the curtain. Like you said, behind the scenes, behind the curtains, which you're seeing who the people really are.
Right.
So it was like, right, we wouldn't have seen their real selves. We would have seen who they present when they present or when they do their YouTube videos or whatever.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like basically we got to stay at the hotel where the rock star stayed or the sports ball players stayed, like the people that were quote unquote famous in the conspiracy world. Yeah, that's the thing, y'all. we were staying in the hotel where they were, and that hotel had limited rooms. So really the only people that were in that hotel were like the people presenting, the rock stars, or like their hardcore groupies or the people that had been in the movement for a really long time. So Laura and I were like these fresh-faced newbies that shouldn't have been there, but got to see all this stuff. And they were shit shows.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And we were so lucky in hindsight that we got to see it, because like the way that they behaved when the quote unquote camera wasn't on them
Oh yeah. It
was
not pretty.
shocking.
Yeah. Woo.
And it helped to like snap us out of like, oh, these people that claim to be spiritual or higher vibe, like they're no better than anybody else. They're dealing with the same ego stuff that everybody else is dealing with, and probably not even dealing with it as well
Right.
as other people are dealing with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What the fuck are we talking about?
yeah, the higher self is just like they're pulling strings and moving things around that the human doesn't feel like they can, but that is really important to like playing out the rest of the story. Because Laura and my higher selves, they're like, we couldn't stand to see you sit in that conspirituality stuff when conspiracy and spirituality merge together any longer, because it was going to stunt your growth. And while there's no experience that's a bad experience, it just sometimes prolongs you being in a level of the experience longer.
The human stays too long.
Yes, exactly. So they were like,
yeah.
let's go, like moving on. This is not for us. This is not for you. You've got different things to do.
Yeah.
And so they just like pulled some strings and ushered us to the door essentially, so that we could exit.
Yeah,
Stage left.
that makes total sense. Like it's like, okay, your soul has a plan. It's got this like thing it's trying to accomplish, or multiple things or experiences that it wants to have, and the higher self is on board trying to like be that liaison between whatever, the eternal energy or the oneness or source, and the human. And when you completely are like starting to get too far off track, there's like this redirection that can happen.
Yes. And they were dropping in some other stuff while you were talking. So that they were like, so when it feels like things aren't going your human way, or like plans are getting canceled or rearranged, or like when you're being inconvenienced somehow as the human, if you could just pause and think, maybe my higher self is at work, maybe like something better is unfolding. Like that, if you can do that, it reduces the resistance and releases the attention and allows that better something to present itself faster. Like a lot of times the human just keeps digging in and pushing back and holding on, and then the higher self and the human are sort of like not at odds with each other, because the higher self, honestly, the higher self, God, they're so patient, so kind, and I don't know how they do it, but they're like, they will wait for your human to catch up. Mm-hmm. They will patiently wait. But when they have the opportunity to give you the off ramp or the on ramp, like they'll do their best to usher you in the right direction, but it's still always a human's choice whether to follow it or not. I almost said fall in line. Maybe fall in line works too.
Fall in line. True, with the soul purpose or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we covered too in the higher self, or in the whisper training, is like how to clear the space, how to create that space, and then how to check in and tune in with your intuition and with what your higher self is trying to guide you toward.
Yeah, and I mean, it always comes down to you, the human, are still always in control. I mean,
you could abandon the plan. It's fine.
Totally. You can come up with a different plan. I don't know. I wonder if the soul, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Laura, in the bubble. Mm-hmm. So we've established that the higher self is super patient. Is the soul as patient as the higher self? Like, what's the soul's reaction when all this stuff is happening?
Well, this is really, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck because, like, give an example of a specific example of something happening.
Let's see. My God, that would assume that I know what my soul wants. Maybe that's it. I feel like we've talked about this before. The soul just sort of comes in with a list of like, these things would be cool to experience this lifetime. And it doesn't really care what order things happen in or how it happens.
Mm-mm.
Well, let's use Taylor Swift as an example. So clearly, Taylor came in to be a giant pop star that leaves an impact and that leaves people feeling empowered and
Mm-hmm.
seen and heard. But she could have easily probably got pregnant at 16, let's say, and had to give up music. You know what I mean? Like her life could have gone in a completely different direction where music wasn't a part of it.
No.
No,
They're like, no.
no.
Um, they keep flashing the astrology chart, like the natal chart, because it has like it's so much depth to it, and so they're showing like music would always have been a part of her life. She always would have made a pretty big impact. People don't get as far off of they call it their map or their blueprint as we think they might.
Oh, right, because that's a judgment. You're right.
Yeah, like they, well, with the cards, we talk about the high side and the low side, or like the high expression and low expression. So they're showing like Oprah too, like the Jack of Clubs. She's definitely bringing down spiritual knowledge, which is one of the parts of the Jack of Clubs. But then they show the natal chart, and they're like, there's stuff in her natal chart that specifically makes it possible for her to be in front of so many people and handle it. They're talking about how I went and saw the Taylor Swift movie or the release party movie, and she's talking about Sabrina Carpenter. I think that was there. But anyway, how Sabrina was like, Taylor was talking about how Sabrina is just like made to be a showgirl. And she just can handle the bullshit, just like no problem. And I was like, that would be her eight and her eight of hearts, being able to handle power.
That's what Sabrina is. She's an eight of hearts.
Yeah, she's the same card as Dolly Parton.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
Jeez.
I know.
Yeah.
Short little blonde ladies with big hair. Um, so, and they like Dolly Parton handled it really well. Like
She handled all of it well.
yeah. So there's like this inherent, the people that have like, I don't know, they're just kind of saying like, there is no way Oprah wasn't going to become Oprah. So like, here's what they're saying. When you start to kind of go off track of what your soul's plan was, they're like what when you first started talking, what they showed me was the soul has the scars. They kept saying the soul has the scars. It's got the experience and the scars from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. The higher self is the divine part of you. It doesn't have the scars.
Right.
So patience, they're like, this higher self is going to be more patient. The soul is going to feel the pain. The higher self is not going to feel the pain. The soul is going to feel the pain of like, so they're reminding me of when I quit teaching high school Spanish and how I thought, well, I could get a different job at a different school. But immediately when I fell into that, I was like, oh no, that's not going to solve anything. Like, I'm just not, this is not right. I don't know what is right, but this is not right. So they're like, when you're off track as a human from the soul's like desired experiences, it becomes painful, and that's why you get back on track.
Oh, right.
Which
That
is
makes sense.
how you could just not completely deviate so much. But like they said, there's like, and I remember our coach, our psychic business coach, that was an insane experience. He would tell us like, didn't he tell us like you could have your A plus experience in this lifetime, or you could have your like C minus?
Yeah.
And that's judgment, but he's like, the concept is like, yeah, Taylor Swift could have affected a few 100,000 people, not billions of people.
Right.
And it would still be the same, like, but it's still going to be music. Like that's not happening. But it's still going to be like, but there's part of it. And I'm thinking about Chris Martin too, because he's also an 8. Taylor Swift is not, she's a 5. But the 8s are so powerful and they're supposed to learn how to use that power. So it's like they have the strength to have that much attention on them. This is like how the 8s can be so successful at being in front of people.
Oh my God. And it makes total sense from an architecture perspective, because all 8s, like an 8 is just arch, like arch after arch after arch after arch after arch. There's no hard point where it can't carry the load.
Right. Look at you. And it's infinity. As we know
And
from
that.
Belly and Conrad.
Oh, Conrad.
So, okay. So, right. So like, that's why they're kind of like, well, like, yes, there's different like levels to, there's different levels that you can be expressing your astrology and cardology at. And they hate the word levels because, again, it sounds like judgment, but that's like, you affect 5 people. That could be with your art or whatever. That could be like what their goal was. Like, you know what I mean? We're judging, is it billions of people or 5 people? Well, billions is better than 5. Well, that's not what your soul would say, because it's got this unique reason that it's here. So, did I make my point?
You did.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the soul wears the scars. So when you get too far off track, the pain sets in as a reminder to get back on track.
Exactly. And which is what Oprah said. If you ignore that whisper long enough, you end up with a brick upside your head. Like something massive happens to get you back on track.
Well, since you brought up your whole teaching experience, when I was getting ready to leave corporate America, and I had put in place like, I don't know, like an 18-month strategy, 16 or 18-month strategy. It was long. And I kept it quiet. Like I didn't tell anybody at work because there were stock options involved and stuff. And I didn't want to, I wanted to be able to maximize what I walked away with. And I was still invested up until the end anyway. But when things would get easy, there was a part of me to be like, well, maybe I don't need to leave, March 2014. Maybe I'll, maybe I'll extend it a little bit longer. Maybe I won't tell anyone. Maybe I'll like wait and see how it is. And anytime I would have those thoughts, my collarbone, it would be like a searing pain, like a zing. And it was such a weird place because like, how do you hurt your collarbone without absolutely knowing that you've hurt your collarbone?
Right. If you are not playing football, like how do you hurt your collarbone?
Right. Like there was no reason why my collarbone should be hurting. And there was nothing that I could do to make the pain go away, except eventually I finally connected the dots. I think because I saw a giant billboard, and the billboard caught my attention so much that I noticed the thought that I had. And then I immediately noticed the pain that I had. And then I started playing with it. And I was like, oh, and we went to the shamans. And I was like, oh, I get it. This is some part of me telling me, no, you are quitting this job because it's not in alignment with who we came here to be. And so, yeah, that would be it. The soul carries the scars. And like it physically gave me a pain.
Body, yeah. Which is
why
why
keeps the score.
We talk about the body, and Candy does breath work in our whisper training, because the body is so important in all of this. Because it will, like physically, Candy, we used to call it Candy's magic collarbone.
Yeah, I gave it a name.
It would go off. It would like ping. It doesn't do that anymore because you're probably listening more.
Yes, I am, because pain hurts, you guys. So eventually you learn to pay attention. Or you're just one of those people who walks around and you're like, oh, I've got this ache. It happens every once in a while. We can't figure out why it is, blah, blah, blah. But there's a reason. There's always a reason. Probably not medical. It's probably energetic or spiritual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's always an underlying something.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was good. Okay.
That was a fun walk down memory lane there.
Oh my God. I forgot about that hotel thing. That was so weird. We're like, what do you mean Expedia called you and canceled that room? What are you talking about?
Does Expedia have a voice? Does Expedia make phone calls? Like what? No, Expedia sends emails. Yeah, it doesn't make a phone call. Because then I think we tried to call Expedia.
Yeah,
like we found a number and they were like, no.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No. Why would we do that?
It's just like, I guess that's the other question I have for the bubble is, So the higher selves can affect things in the physical plane.
Yes. And primarily it affects the physical plane by like higher selves working with each other to eventually find a human that will like do the thing that needs to be done. Or, for example, maybe they're like, so we know that you're thinking like, oh, so like my higher self talked to a higher self, somebody that works at Expedia and got somebody at Expedia to make a phone call. No, it doesn't have to be that literal. It could just be that my higher self worked with somebody's higher self at the hotel to accidentally hit like a delete button on the reservation, and then somebody just made up a story.
Yeah, totally. Right.
So like it's not always
Or like their buddy
exact.
wanted to stay there that night, and so they just canceled a reservation. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, we don't know. Expedia called us. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like the important thing is that we got you to the hotel that we wanted you to be at.
Right.
So
That's great.
like how we interacted, they're still talking like how we interacted with you in the moment was we just encouraged you to just go across, like try that hotel, just go over there.
Yeah. Just
What
go
do you
see.
have to lose? It's
Right.
late. You don't want to like mess around with it. Like, you don't want to try to find something else. Just like go over there and see what if
It was also
maybe.
nicer than we were going to stay, I think.
It was.
Yeah. And they gave us some kind of discount,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah. We got hooked up. Like somebody else had canceled their room or something. I don't remember. It was a lot. It was amazing.
Crazy.
I hope we never forget about it.
I do too. Well, we'll have this episode now in perpetuity.
And we'll have the people that are listening to forever remind us.
Okay. To remind the audience, we have a forum where you can ask us questions. Our goal is like for this podcast to be a Q&A from you guys. So our website podcast in the menu, that form is on that page. And then we have our whisper training live. That was the other exciting thing that happened.
You're so exciting.
Yeah, we're really excited. So it's out there. We're getting ready to start promoting it and check it out.
And it's good. It's real good. I did all of the curriculum work that Laura put together, and it's amazing. It's so good.
It's experiential, like you're doing practices. You're not just learning about consciousness because, like, I mean, there's books out there.
Read a book.
Yeah, this is all exercises, like guided visualization type of practices, and Candy's breathwork classes to help you clear the energy as you're going forward, and then some content dripped out over 6 weeks, once a week. So it's doable. It's not overwhelming. It's very targeted toward getting you to a point where you can start to work with your higher self and your intuition, like we're showing you on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, for real. Super good. Super good. So check it out. What else? Do we want to talk about anything else? I think that was all good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Excellent.
Huzzah, bitches. That wraps this episode of One Card Shy. Did you love it? Leave us a review, share it with your friends, and sign up for our monthly crown straightener. Bonus, you'll get our free Claim Your Crown guide when you subscribe.
And be sure to find us on Instagram and check out our website. Both are rainworld.co. All the links are below. See you next time, Queens.